What's up everyone, this is FP Sticks bringing you some Toxic Cup battles. I'm going to try to put out a lot of Toxic Cup videos this week because I know I have my first Toxic Cup tournament coming up this weekend and probably a lot of you do as well. And there's not a whole lot of Toxic Cup content out on YouTube right now. It's a whole lot of Go Battle League still coming out. So let's kind of get into some of these battles and see what's going on. I think in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about Bibarel. And Bibarel is legit. If you remember in the Ferocious Cup, it was definitely one of the top contenders. And I feel like in the Toxic Cup, it is almost going to be a must-have on your team. Because water damage is almost completely unresisted in this cup other than the grass types and the other water types. But the thing is, there's not a whole lot of grass running around in the Toxic Cup. With the bug types and the poison types and the flying types, it's a little bit too risky to run a grass type. I feel like it just doesn't have as many even neutral matchups and definitely not as many positive matchups. So Bibarel has access to Water Gun and Surf and Hyper Fang. So even in some of its worst matchups, like when you're stuck against a grass type, you still have the Hyper Fang to hit for really strong neutral damage because you get stab on it as well, which is really great. Water Gun is a pretty high damage fast move, which is awesome. And the normal typing on Bibarel, even though it does make it weak to counter users, it allows you that immunity to your resistance to like Shadow Ball from Golbat, as well as if anyone's running a Haunter, it's going to be pretty walled by Bibarel, assuming that they're running Shadow Punch and Shadow Ball. So I really enjoy Bibarel with all the Glygars and Gliscors floating around. It's nice to have that super effective water damage that hits them. And again, water damage just hits for neutral or super effective on a lot of things in this cup. You also have the option of maybe going with like a Quillfish if you want a different water gun user. But with Quillfish, you're adding a weakness to confusion users with that poison typing. I believe in this video I have a lot of battles where I am in fact using Bibarel. You can see our teams up on the screen there. All these battles are against a bunch of my patrons. Huge shout out to everyone for supporting the channel. I battled for like 3 hours straight the other night, just doing sets of 3 with all my different patrons. It was super fun. So these battles are against my patron Good Little Squid. Again, huge shout out to you for supporting the channel. Flygon is a very interesting pick in this cup, and I actually really like it a lot. You are double weak to ice, and you're weak to charm users, but I haven't seen too many charm users so far, and I haven't ran into too many ice users other than Ice Fang Drapion, which I also think is a pretty solid pick. But I have my Gliscor on the Flygon right here. I do shield up the Dragon Claw and commit to a fast move Faint Down. So I have some stored up energy here. Just going to go for the Night Slash on the Golbat. Earthquake would be resisted. Now Gligar versus Gliscor in this cup. Not super sure on what I like more right now. In the Rose Cup that we just had, I liked Gligar for its bulk and its more consistent matchups against like the Ghosts and the Fighters. But in this cup, I kind of like Gliscor a little bit more because it can consistently win some matchups just going straight Earthquake because of the lower energy cost compared to Gligar using Dig. But again, you don't have the bulk that Gligar does have. Going for a Night Slash on this Golbat. This should be just enough to take it out. Yep, able to take that match there. Good games. Let's see, next match. Going with a Golbat lead. We'll see how this works out. Against a Bibarel. So this is a pretty interesting matchup. You have to go just straight Poison Fang here. But I believe Bibarel still wins this out if they just go straight Surf. There's so many simulations to look into this cup, and I'm still pretty fresh on everything. But we'll see how we play this out. I'm just going to go straight Poison Fang here. I am noticing that I am ahead on damage, and I'm assuming that I can get to these Poison Fangs faster than the Bibarel can get to the Surfs. So there's the shield right there. This is pretty interesting. Yeah, Bibarel gets to the surf right there. I'm assuming I'm going to go for another Poison Fang. They switch out there. Wormadam Trash is one of the best Pokemon in this cup, and unfortunately, I do not have the resources to make one right now. I just cannot find any Trash Burmese, female Trash Burmese. I could not find them. But luckily, Fortress, if you just go straight Earthquake, you can win out this matchup in an even shield scenario. So I do really like Fortress a lot because of its matchup against Wormadam Trash. I believe against Steelix you can even go straight Earthquake on Fortress and win that matchup because Steelix's Earthquake is only going to be hitting you for neutral, whereas your Earthquake is going to be hitting it for super effective. I go for the Mirror Shot there. It does like no damage. I bring in my Bibarel. He switches into his Golbat, and honestly, I think Surf is barely more energy efficient, but because shields are down, I wanted to land that Hyper Fang first and then try to go for a Surf. Probably could have just double surfed instead to be a little bit more safe, because this is going to be very close getting to that Surf there. Extremely close. This should be enough to take out the Golbat, though. Still got this Bibarel up. Water Gun really puts on a lot of damage. Out comes his own Bibarel. I really need to get this thing out of here. Luckily, he committed to dumping the energy on my Bibarel, which he had to do because I was about to throw a Surf. So good play on his part. He still has that Wormadam Trash, which the confusion's really going to hurt my Golbat. So I go straight for the Poison Fang here. I know that the Wormadam is very low health. And then I switch into my own Fortress just to get a little bit of chip damage. And then we're kind of experiencing some weird lag here. And then I believe his Wormadam, yeah, I get one fast move off and his Wormadam faints. But I'm pretty sure he had an Iron Head stored up there. And that might have KO'd me. I don't know how much damage that actually does to Golbat at that health. But these next battles are against another one of my patrons, Whoop-de-Whoop. Again, if you'd like to be on my friends list and train with me, my Patreon link will be down in the description. So Bibarel against Toxicroak, the counter damage hurts so much, but also Toxicroak is not very bulky, and so the water gun damage really adds up as well. Putting some shield pressure on with the Surf, and then he's able to counter me down. That's alright. I cannot bring in Steelix, that is for sure. That thing is going to get shredded by Toxicroak. Golbat is a complete hard wall to Toxicroak, so he does switch out there. Poison Fang is going to be heavily resisted, so I'm just going straight Shadow Ball here. And the Flygon is going to have to go just for Dragon Claws because the Earth Power is going to be resisted. Flygon is unbelievably spammy and so fast, and those Dragon Claws actually do chip away a lot. I'm hoping I can maybe bring my Steelix in here and Dragon Tail down this Flygon before it gets to another charge move. I'm able to do that. I know he still has the Toxicroak, which is probably going to come in and dump some Mud Bombs on my Steelix. Yep. But this Toxicroak is pretty low health, so I do commit a shield here. I'm expecting another Mud Bomb to possibly come through, but he switches out into Wormadam. I'm going to go for the shield bait here of Crunch. Earthquake would do a lot of damage. I really want this last shield to be gone. I get the successful shield bait, and now I'm going to resist all of Wormadam's charge moves here. Steelix is another good answer to Wormadam Trash. I believe you can just go straight Earthquake and win out that matchup because you're going to be resisting all of Wormadam's moves. I land the Earthquake, but Wormadam is so bulky, it's going to take some more damage to get this thing out of here. So I'm going for the Crunch. Hopefully this is going to be enough. Barely not enough, but one more Dragon Tail seals the deal there. Out comes Toxicroak, and it's just barely not able to counter me down in time. Super close game. Holy cow. Going into another game here. We're leading with Gliscor against Flygon. So in this matchup, I'm honestly just going to go straight Night Slash. Hopefully get the boost. My wing attacks are hitting him for neutral, whereas all those mud shots are resisted. Heavily resisted. The Dragon Claws are going to add up. I'm not going to shield up this first one. He goes for Earth Power. Definitely the right play to go is just straight up Dragon Claw because those ground type attacks are so resisted. you can see how much more damage a Dragon Claw does, and it's far less energy. So still going straight Night Slash here. I do get a shield, which is really good for me. At this point, I believe I can commit one shield and then commit to a fast move Faint Down. So I am able to get that Flygon out of there. Flygon is pretty glassy. Out comes Golbat. I'm just going to put on a lot of Night Slash pressure. Let me know what you guys have been thinking of this Toxic Cup. I like it a lot more than Rose. It seems a little bit more flexible and less hard countery. Not as lead dependent. There's so many kind of like neutral or like resisted matchups in this cup where both Pokemon are doing resisted damage to one another that it allows for a little bit more flexibility and a lot less rock, paper, scissory feeling like Rose Cup felt, where your Charizard will get stuck against a Probopass or your Probopass will get stuck against a fighter, and like these insanely hard countering matchups. A lot of neutral matchups across the board in this cup, which I actually really enjoy. Because it means you got to put in the time and look into some of these simulations to know what Pokemon is going to beat what. Because a lot of times, yeah, it's just neutral damage or resisted on both sides. So it kind of just comes down to the Pokemon's bulk and who is able to get to their charge move first. Out comes Toxicroak. Golbat is just a solid wall to Toxicroak. Same with Gliscor or Gligar. Able to wing attack that thing down. Good game there. You definitely need some sort of anti-fighter on your team. I'm hopefully going to make a team building guide at some point this week, but I'm still trying to figure out this cup and figure out how things feel. But you definitely need like either a confusion user, or I would say like double up on your flyers maybe. Like for me personally, I'm probably not going to run a confusion user because I'm not able to get a Wormadam unless by some miracle a great Burmy like spawns somewhere and I'm able to snag it. But so since I most likely am not going to be running a confusion user, I'm most likely going to double up on my flying coverage, just so I have a lot of answers, some flexible answers against the fighters. Being Heracross, Toxicroak, and Escavalier are kind of what we're seeing a lot of. I go for the Hyper Fang against the Bibarel there. I do lose that matchup, but I am up a shield. So I'm hopefully just going to bring in Golbat. Both Golbat and Fortress are pretty good in the closing scenarios. This is a Bite Drapion. And Fortress, when shields are down, I'm going to be able to land this Earthquake and one-shot the Drapion. It's just a Fell Stinger, so they're running Bite instead of Ice Fang on their Drapion. The Fell Stinger, does boost up your attack stat, and so that Bite would really start shredding, but able to Earthquake it and take it out. This Surf is not going to do enough damage to KO, but the subsequent Water Guns are enough. I bring out my Golbat, overfarm just a little bit. Going to go for this Poison Fang, which is going to be enough to take out this Bibarel. And then in the back is Wormadam trash. So this is trash for me. I don't think I'm going to be able to hit 2 Shadow Balls here. That's really my only win condition. Because the confusion damage is just so insane. That's one nice thing about running Gliscor and Gligar instead of Golbat, is that you're not weak to confusion. And so you have a solid matchup against the Wormadam. But good games there, whoop-de-whoop. Now, these last 3 battles are against Cubs Tori. Again, thank you so much for your support on the channel. This is a very favorable matchup for me, so I'm expecting the switch out into Ice Fang Drapion. Double super effective against Gliscor, so I had to get out of there right away. I have found that Bibarel has really been working well as a somewhat of a safe switch. Because if you think, okay, what things are going to absolutely wreck Bibarel? Well, the counter users do a lot of damage, but you're not going to be walled. You're still going to be outputting a lot of damage with Water Gun and Surf. If they bring in a Grass type, you still have Hyper Fang. So you're not going to be absolutely walled by any Pokemon. So I've really been using Bibarel as kind of my safe switch option. Let me know how if you guys have been running Bibarel and how you've been running it. I found in that safe switch spot, it's been doing all right so far. So I have two solid answers to Toxicroak here, but I'm worried that there might be a Wormadam in the back. So I'm bringing out my Golbat instead because my Gliscor has a more favorable matchup against Wormadam. Now that Sludge Bomb only hit for single resisted damage, but still did a lot. I actually shielded this Mud Bomb up. Kind of a dumb play on my part, but I had two shields, so I figure I might as well start using them. And there's the Wormadam. This is exactly what I was worried about. But I do have my Gliscor in the back. It did take a couple of Ice Fangs, and you can see how much damage that already did. But since shields are down, this Earthquake is going to land and do a lot of damage to the Wormadam. And my wing attacks are hitting for neutral. The confusion damage is hitting for neutral. Honestly, I'm just going to shield this up. And probably one Night Slash should do the trick to take out this Wormadam. Wormadam is so good. Like, I highly recommend that you try it out. I just don't have one, and probably most likely won't have one for any of my tournaments. So I'm unable to run it. But that confusion damage is really nice to keep Toxicroak in check, and all of the poison types that aren't sub-dark typing as well. Favorable lead again for me. I went with the Gliscor lead again. Again, that's one of those matchups where I probably wouldn't even stay in with the Toxicroak. I would probably just get out of there right away because that wing attack damage really adds up. I'm just going to put on some Night Slash damage onto this Golbat and see if I can get some shields out of this. I have Bibarel and Fortress, so I'm going to switch in Bibarel. If this is a Shadow Ball, it's going to be heavily resisted. So it's only a Poison Fang. That is the correct way to go. Definitely just go straight up Poison Fang in this matchup. And then I'm hoping that I can maybe Water Gun down this Golbat. I'm able to do it. I have a loaded Bibarel here. I know the Toxicroak is most likely going to come out. Yep. But again, this is one of Bibarel's not super great matchups, and I'm still going to put on shield pressure and put on water gun damage. Really adds up. So this is a very loaded Toxicroak now. Again, Gliscor is a complete wall to Toxicroak. Sludge Bomb is going to be heavily resisted. Mud Bomb is going to be heavily resisted. And whatever is in the back, I was just going to get out of there right off the bat. It's the Ice Fang Drapion again. I really like Fortress here. I'm hitting for neutral damage with these Bug Bites, but it just shreds, man. Bug Bite still does a lot of damage. That Ice Fang damage is resisted on Fortress. I'm going for the Mirror Shot here. Mirror Shot does have a chance to debuff your opponent, so it's kind of nice, but other than that, it's kind of a crappy move. It is nice that it gives Fortress some bait potential because it's a cheaper charge move. Over-farming just a little bit, which was kind of stupid on my part because I actually lose the CMP here, and I'm going to have to eat this. Luckily, it's only a Fell Stinger. But going for the Earthquake here, and I don't even charge this up because I want to farm up a little bit more. I couldn't decide whether or not I wanted to go for the Mirror Shot or the Earthquake. Out comes Toxicroak. This Mirror Shot is going to be hitting for neutral damage, but doesn't really do that much. And then I'm going to be able to bring in Gliscor. I did get the debuff on the Toxicroak, but this Night Slash should be enough to take it out. Good games there, and I got the boost at the end. Always funny when that happens. Going with the Gliscor lead again. It's been working out pretty well. It's going to do good against Fortress and Wormadam and Toxicroak. Golbat, not so much. Pretty sure Golbat can just go straight up Shadow Ball and beat both Gligar and Gliscor. But I'm just going to put on some Night Slash damage and see, kind of feel this matchup out a little bit. Going to shield up this first Shadow Ball. But again, I'm pretty sure Golbat can just go straight Shadow Ball and win out this scenario. I don't know if I knew that at this point in time, though. So I'm continuing to stay in here. I make a sacrificial swap into Bibarel. I'm really hoping this was a Shadow Ball. It was only a Poison Fang, so she went for an amazing bait. And it actually worked out really well for her because it landed on my Bibarel. I'm going straight for the Hyper Fang because I am down in health here, so I need something to flip this matchup around. The Hyper Fang does go through, which is really great for me. I want to try to regain switch advantage here. That surf goes through, so the bait was unsuccessful, but this is going to be another surf. I'm going to let it go through. And now we're even in shields. I'm going to bring in my fortress to farm down just the rest of that Bibarel there. I know that the Golbat is still in play. Out comes the Golbat again. Going to get this mirror shot off. It's, again, going to hit for neutral on Golbat, but it's a pretty crappy move. Doesn't do much damage, and these bug bites are heavily resisted. Going to shield up the Poison Fang. Oh my gosh, what a stupid play on my part. If this is a Shadow Ball right here, she played this really well with the bait. So it's only another Poison Fang, which again is very heavily resisted on Fortress's end. I have a loaded Fortress. What's in the back? It's the Wormadam. Going straight for Earthquake here. This is either going to do a lot of damage or get the last shield. It does get the last shield. And now I want this Wormadam to dump its energy into my Fortress. If I would have gotten to that second Earthquake there, it would have been absolutely amazing. This still does not take me out. Questionable play here. Really hoping for the debuff. But now I'm going to get into my Gliscor. I need to land this Earthquake. And this is going to be enough to take out the Wormadam. Good games there, Cubs Story. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, if you want to support the channel and be on my friends list and train with me, head on over to my Patreon. The link will be down in the description. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video.